Mr. Wonderful reacts to latest inflation data. He says, "This is a nasty report." I'm going to play the clip. I can't wait to see what he says. I haven't really seen this clip yet. This is from Trending Politics, is Colleen McHugh. But we already know that inflation is heating back up again. You remember when it slowed down just a little bit and they pretended like inflation went away? Now it's so hot they can't pretend that it went away anymore. They have to say, yeah, it's starting to get hot again. Well, it's been hot. It's just slowed down a little bit, and they use that to try to cape for Biden. The economy is still terrible. It's not getting any better. Again, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. The only way to fix this economy, I keep saying time and time again, is to put Trump back in office. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to play the clip from Mr. Wonderful. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, Colleen reports that investment mogul and longtime Shark Tank host Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, reacted to another round of poor inflation data during an appearance on Fox News Wednesday, calling it a very nasty report. That's an understatement. Wednesday, long-awaited inflation report revealed that consumer prices rose 0.3% last month, slightly beating expectations of 0.4%. Year-over-year prices grew 3.4% in April, again slightly cooler than the prior month's 3.5% annual increase. So let me just go ahead and play the clip here. Let me put my headphones on and get his take on this.
All right, Fox Business Alert. Consumer Price Index, CPI, hit 3.4% in the month of April. That's not good. Up 0.3 month over month. It's going the wrong direction. Here with what it means is Shark Tank investor and O'Leary Ventures chair, Kevin O'Leary. Kevin, good morning to you.
Great to be here. Thank you.
All right. We know that inflation's got to be below 2% for the Fed to stop, to start lowering our interest rates. This is all going the wrong way.
It guarantees that, in my opinion, the Fed will not lower rates at all for the rest of this year. And that's not what you want if you're the incumbent. Politically, it looks like this happened because inflation data, you can be 2020 in terms of looking backwards. We poured a lot of money in the economy during the pandemic. That turned out to be the right thing to do to avoid a depression. But then we kept going. We probably put around $2 trillion too much in. Inflation Reduction Act did not reduce inflation. In fact, it's inflationary, as you can see.
How many times have I been saying that? How many times have I been saying that the Inflation Reduction Act did not reduce inflation? In fact, it made inflation rise even more. It did the exact opposite of what Biden said the act was supposed to do, I'm glad that he pointed that out.
See by these numbers, this is a nasty report.
It is a nasty report, but the president, when he's out and about, he tries to put on a happy face. Here's a soundbite, I believe, from yesterday, where once again he's got a whopper, and he says that inflation was 9% when he took office. Watch this.
Don't households feel wealthy right now?
Over 60% of the people in America feel they're personally in good shape. They're personally in good shape. But they look out and they say the rest of the world's not in good shape. Other people aren't in good shape. I think inflation has gone slightly up. It was at 9% when I came in, and it's now down around 3%.
That's a lie. Inflation was not at 9% when he came in. That is a total lie.
When he took office, it was 1.4%. It wasn't until almost summer of 2022 when it hit 9%, when gas, people had to decide, am I going to buy groceries or am I going to fill up my car?
Well, I don't think you can blame any politician for talking their book, but unfortunately, the numbers don't lie. Where this is manifesting itself in a problem for the current administration is inflation numbers around food, protein notably, gasoline, and housing. Those are bad metrics when you're at the voting poll.
Right.
And so I don't know what's going to happen the next 5 months, but you really want the Fed to cut rates. You want to talk a book about inflation going back to 2%. None of that's happening. These are not good numbers for the current administration, not at this time in the election cycle. These are nasty. There's no other way to describe them.
Okay, so that number came out 13 minutes ago. Also, about an hour ago, the Biden campaign said, hey, Donald Trump will debate you twice, once in June, once in September. What do you think of that?
I love it. I think the country is begging for policy. Look, I
just did the video on what Wayne Allen Root thought on the debate. He believes that it's a trap. They're gonna have Biden hopped up on amphetamines, on drugs to try to keep him awake and coherent, and they're gonna have him with an earpiece in his ear, feeding him the answers, and he's gonna have the interview questions ahead of time, so he's gonna be practiced and prepared and ready to go. Not a bad take. I think I tend to lean towards Wayne Allen Root's take on this.
You know, we've been talking about the trials in New York, the real estate wars, and now the porn star wars. I get it. I understand all that. But if you're a New Yorker right now, you'd probably be asking yourself, is this the best way to spend our money? When everybody wants to understand going into an election, what's your policy on border security? What's your policy on interest rates? What's your policy on foreign affairs? All of these issues are left open, and inflation I want to hear more about. I got to have this information to make a decision as a voter. I don't have it. So let's stop the porn star wars. Let's take a break, and let's get policy debates. I welcome them. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
And Donald Trump himself has already said he's on as well. Kevin, thank you very much.
I agree mostly with I agree with pretty much everything Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful, said, except for the debate part. I tend to believe, like Wayne Allen Root, that this whole debate thing could be a setup, could be a trap for Trump, and they're gonna use this to bring in Michelle Obama before. That's why the debates are so early. That's why they want the debate in June, to give them time before the convention to swap out Biden for Trump. But that's a whole nother story. Check out my video that I did on that with explanation from Wayne Allen Root. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.